So hepatitis and jaundice, the first choice, of course, is that upper three yellows. So that's a typo. We can fix that in post. Shang instead of Shan, it's Shang San Huang, upper three yellows. 8, 8.12, 13, and 14. The other point we can use is liver gate, Ganmen, liver gate. Liver gate is a point on the forearm. So the Shang San Huang, you remember from before, we talked about that quite a bit. Ganmen is 3 tsun proximal to the wrist. How many tsun is there from the wrist to the elbow? There are 12 tsun, right? So that means it's halfway between wrist and elbow on the ulnar aspect of the forearm on the small intestine channel, right? So here's the location. Halfway between 3.11, halfway between the pisiform and the olecranon, right there. And we needle it right under the bone. So just like you needle small intestine 3 right under the bone, the needle's going this way. The way this needle goes in is the same angle, right? So if I'm needling small intestine 3 this way, Ganmen, liver gate, goes in the same angle, right under the bone. Okay? So classical indications for Ganmen, we see especially acute hepatitis. We can also use it for chest problems, chest pain, rib side pain. We can use it for inner leg pain. It's just a direct image from small intestine, opposite the clock, from liver, right? So we can use it for inner leg pain. But the main indications are liver problems, including hepatitis. Remember, in TCM, what channel is the main channel for hepatitis? Small intestine channel. So in acupuncture, we use points on the small intestine channel, even in TCM, for hepatitis. What does small intestine channel do? Separates clear from turbid. Okay? Now this one, because it's in the arm, will be better for acute conditions where the leg group, the zone 8 group, is more for chronic conditions, which is why we see the indication here, Ganmen, for acute hepatitis. Okay? Now it says traditionally that needling the left side is particularly effective. That's interesting, right? It's kind of fun. Yeah, good question. Let's think about Nanjing Style abdominal diagnosis. And again, Master Dong never told us why. So this is just me thinking. This is Henry. This is what keeps me up at night when my Netflix shows. When I run out of when I'm at the end of the Netflix series that I'm watching, then I feel like this empty space in my heart. I have to start thinking of TCM theory again. This is the problem with binge watching Netflix series. They go away fast and you have to start reading TCM books again. Could be worse things. That's the navel. So in the Nanjing, it tells us that the basic abdominal diagnosis, okay, and this is the abdominal diagnosis we use in like Japanese acupuncture systems. This is a very basic abdominal map. So the heart zone we find right under like the xiphoid process. The spleen zone is sort of like this pear-shaped thing around the navel. So basically this is Renmai points, right? Ren 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 are all middle jiao points, right? Ren 14 and 15 are like heart points. So this basically, that would be spleen in there. Kidney, not surprisingly, is down here in the area of Ren 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, right? That's kidney. Makes sense so far? And then they put, now this is kind of fun. Lung goes over here. Liver goes over here. Oh. Right? Even though the liver organ is up under the right rib cage. But in terms of the abdominal zones, that's how we find it. This is a map of the universe. That's why it works this way. Okay? This is what we talked about before, those 4 characters that I teased you with, that gives us the clue to acupuncture, the clue to the zones in Tung's acupuncture: birth, growth, harvest, and storage. Those are the 4 key words. Those should be your new mantra when you go say Om, birth, growth, harvest, storage, Svaha afterwards, okay? That's your new mantra from now on. What we have here is the idealized map. This is south. This is north. Remember, in ancient China, maps were always drawn with north at the bottom of the page and south at the top of the page. Donna, here's a quiz. Why did the south go on the top and north go on the bottom? It's a trick question, I'm sorry. No, because why not? Right? It's an arbitrary, think about it. The reason we put north on the top of the page because some map maker at some point said north goes on top. Right? If you're standing on Earth, there's no way that's up, there's no way that's down. It's just a round circle, right? So it's arbitrary that north goes on the top of the page. The reason they put south on the top of the page is because south is yang. Yang goes up. North is yin. North goes down, right? But it's just arbitrary. You could put east on top of the page. Doesn't really matter. But if we have north on the bottom here with kidney and south on the top, where does east go? To the left, right? If this is Canada, this is Texas, right? This is Canada, this is Texas, then south. East goes on. Never mind. East goes on this side. If you're facing this way, you have to. It depends on which way you're looking, but east goes here on this side because when we're standing, if I'm standing here, here's what happens. If I'm standing here and my body is facing south, so now we have to take a 2-dimensional object, make it 3-dimensional like this. If I'm standing here and my body is facing south with north behind me, which is the perfect direction, like if you go to Beijing, which direction is the Forbidden City facing? Forbidden City is facing south, right? Because in China, all the cold winds come from the north, so you want to face south, the door is south, the windows are south. If I'm facing south, the left side, everything is rising here. That's the east, that's the direction of the rising sun. And the right side is the direction of the setting sun, right? Which is why in TCM, the left arm is yang and the right arm is yin. So the left side represents east and wood, and the left side represents west and metal. That's the right side. Left side is east and wood, is yang. The right side is metal, is liver, is lung. So liver goes on that's why liver is felt on the left side of the body in terms of abdominal diagnosis as well as pulse diagnosis. Okay? Everyone happy with that? So here, the left side of the body is the yang side of the body, is the side of the body that represents more liver. That's the thinking that I would suggest we consider when we're looking at why left side, the traditional recommendation is left side is more effective. Now the real recommendation in clinic is the side that you find tender is more effective. Okay? The theory is only good as long as you find the reactive point there. Because in the real clinic, not all patients follow the theory. In the real clinic, we have to palpate. If you're an acupuncturist, you must touch your patients. As an herbalist, you only have to touch the wrist and you can get away with it. Unless you're a Japanese herbalist and you got to palpate anyway. Okay? All right.